Okay, and if Xsplit is to be believed,
You're off the
we
air.
are on the air. I'm not convinced. I'm going to keep refreshing YouTube until, if anybody is watching this and you can see it, it's the first time I've used Xsplit, so we're having a bit of a play with that, and I'm trying to work out whether or not we are live and whether or not this thing is telling me the truth.
I haven't had a message from YouTube, nor does it say. It says off there on here.
There we go. It says live. Truth.
I haven't had a message from.
Right, we are live now.
That was special.
That was quite good. Okay, so welcome to Conan, Priestess of the Silver Cave. This is episode something. Blimey, where are we? I think episode 11. So Dougie has volunteered. You all right there, Ollie?
Yep, I just remembered dice. Awesome.
Right, Dougie has offered to give a recap.
Threaten him twice.
Hey, Dougie, over to you.
Okay, well, the party found ourselves in Shamir, and we had found Inanna, who gave us the information that we needed, that the Silver Cave was actually north in Koth, and it was to the west of a small town called Calbris. As a party then, we traded in our desert camels for some horses, and we then decided to cut through the mountains to avoid patrols, and found ourselves at the east of Calbris. Looking from a distance, we noticed that there was a larger military force than normal, almost like they were under martial law, with looking like soldiers from Canufis's army. We knew we didn't actually have to enter the city or the town, but actually look for an area to the west of it. So as a party, we detoured north and found a place to rest. There we started finding gullies and canyons leading through the main river that we started to follow. And we saw what looked like an old cave, an old structure that was too risky to travel down the cliff face. It was too treacherous and underfoot. But whilst we were looking at Calbris, we encountered a dock with some boats. So heading through the gully, we found a place where it actually met the river, where Actian, Aladai, and Genghis, myself, set off back to Calbris in order to obtain a boat. Just before we got there, Genghis took the horses back from Actian and Aladai and headed back to the rest of the party, where they went on, managed to sneak past a very lapsidaisical guard on the bridge. Aladai stood guard while Actian dived into the water and managed to...
massive amount of noise.
Yeah. Obtained the last boat and rowed back to the shore, picked up Aladai, and they managed to effectively freewheel down the stream to us, where we pulled them in, rested for the night, set off in the morning, and docked on a stone slab area with a huge architectural door that we very quickly identified through the image on the doors that it was in fact the Temple of Khossus V. It took some going to get inside, but we managed to do so, and after lighting a torch we were presented with a number of rooms, each dedicated to a different arm of what Khossus was into. So his generosity, his food, his wealth, his military prowess, and in each room, not doing anything or appearing to do anything, Genghis placed a tribute to him in association to each of his rooms. And we basically cleared that first section, and the next path leading off to us was over a rickety bridge leading off to the exposed cave that we found originally. So we believe we found the entrance to the tomb of Talnag Thuster, and we think the silver cave lies beneath that tomb.
Okay, thanks. That was pretty. I don't think there was anything I would have mentioned which you didn't. So, cheers for that.
Brownie points.
Yeah, definitely.
Does he get XP?
He would gain fortune if any of you had been spending any fortune to leave any to gain, but
No style points.
fortune's kind of the equivalent.
I gain immunity from having to do it next time.
Yeah, that's the real thing. So, okay, so the stone doors lie open. The sun streams onto polished flagstones outside. Beyond, the carved stone bollards on one of the ceremonial boats draws up onto the beach, its oarsmen sweating against the fast flow of the pure mountain-fed river. The slaves waiting by the cliffside rush forwards to pull the boat up onto the beach and to make it properly secure. An ornate ladder is brought forward and fastened to the prow of the boat as one of the robed acolytes walks forward to greet the pilgrims. Excited faces look down as they descend the ladder and are welcomed by priests. Once the group has assembled, the acolyte turns, his beard cut into the same tapering style as the face carved on the great stone doors, and leads them into the room. Each of the pilgrims has their excitement visible on their face, taking on looks of awe at their surroundings as they cross the threshold. As they fade from our view, their hushed tones becoming echoes of thoughts beyond the edge of hearing, the seasons pass, flickering, ever faster and faster across our view. The pilgrims become fewer. The carven and painted ceremonial boats become less fine, the slaves fewer and older, and eventually the doors close permanently, throwing the room into a perpetual gloom. The channels in the roof that cleverly illuminated the friezes carved in the walls block with earth and silt, and again the glory of this once hallowed place falls into ever-deepening darkness. Turning to look towards the only source of illumination still visible, we see the stone bridge lit by the day outside, the sounds of running water never stopping in all the centuries that it stands uncrossed, other than by occasional seekers after hidden wealth, who steal into these once sacred chambers to desecrate their memory. Eventually, with time, even the splendour of the bridge fades. Its paint already ruined, its carvings are beaten by the weather into vague, unrecognisable shapes. Finally, pieces of the stone balustrades themselves begin to fall into the river. Time slows again, the interminable flickering of the seasons reducing, with the sun shining on the bridge through a heavily clouded sky. A sound other than that of the perpetual river seems oddly out of place as one of the doors grinds loudly against the flagstones, protesting against being shifted from a place where it has rested for so many centuries. Foreigners from other lands entered these once hallowed halls, their skins of various hues, all darker than any known in this place before, except one dark-haired man who seems almost painfully pale. Having completed a circuit of the faces of Khossus, they stand, blocking the light from the bridge, looking out to the mouth of the tunnel beyond it, discussing quietly amongst themselves what to do next. Which brings us to you standing at the bridge, looking out, trying to decide what to do next.
So we think the cave is inside that there tomb, underneath it.
You've been,
Sorry.
You've been told that the entrance lies somewhere beneath the Shrine of Khossus.
Is that the Shrine of Khossus?
Yeah, that's what Genghis is unsure of. I believe we said the entrance to the tomb is hidden within the shrine. Are we in the shrine already? Therefore, should we be?
This is the shrine.
Yeah, so maybe the entrance should
So,
actually be.
Louis, you said we were standing at an entrance. That to me says we're not in the shrine yet.
No.
Have a look at Roll20, and what you'll see is where you guys came in, which is the open beach, and you've come through up the steps, managed to push the doors open.
There's something in the middle.
Yeah, you've done a section. You've been round these 4 rooms or 5 rooms, and come back, and you're now looking out across that bridge.
Does the bridge look secure and safe? Safe enough to walk on?
Yeah, it looks. It was a huge, big stone bridge, and it would have had these carved balustrades on the sides of it. The carvings have eroded. Occasionally, a single eye is all that remains of a carving that just kind of looks at you balefully from where it is. Some of the balustrade has fallen into the water, but the main part of the bridge, although it's kind of eroded, it's still a kind of 5 foot wide, 5 to 6 foot wide span of solid stone.
And staring straight across the bridge, what can I see on the other side? Entrance to a cave or what?
You can see what looks like a stone door. There's a small alcove, and then it looks as though there is a stone door on the far side of that.
Genghis would suggest maybe before we were just looking at the artwork and not really paying any attention to this area, and this could be the shrine. Maybe we should just search the rooms a little bit closer, see if there's any like hidden doorways here. Because if they're trying to protect it, then actually placing it close to a cave would actually lead them away from what they want to protect. So that could be deliberate.
Baldur's crossing the bridge.
Could I do a ransack search? Which lets me search the entire area in reach.
I mean, you guys have walked round. You've had a fairly decent look, and I will tell you now, okay, because it's just going to speed things up. I've not called for any observation rolls while you've been in those rooms.
I'm guessing there's probably nothing there. But...
So if there was something there that I thought, okay, you might have found this, I would have asked. You're okay. Fairly confident that you haven't seen. I mean, if there's something deeply, deeply hidden, it's.
Well, we are coming back this way. I'm guessing because the boat's here.
Well, as I said, Baldur's crossing the bridge.
Yep.
Okay. So Baldur walks across the bridge as you get out onto the span of the bridge. I'm guessing you kind of give it a good test with your foot, and it's completely solid. You walk across, like I say, chunks of the balustrade have fallen away just from where it's all been, just from the weathering. But yeah, you get to the other side, and there is another doorway, likewise carved with this bearded face in the middle of the door. Not as weathered as it could be because it's been in an alcove, but still fairly eroded, more eroded than any of the carvings inside the previous rooms were.
Okay. Does it look like a push or pull door?
It looks like you could push it. It does look like.
Let's give it a little push.
Okay. I mean, the previous doors in the other area were they required a fair amount of heft.
All right, let's give it a heft
to get
then.
them moving. Okay, I'm just going to check. What are other people doing? Are other people going across the bridge with him or staying put?
Is there room? How much room is on the bridge for people side by side?
The bridge
or
is
he's
kind
standing?
of the bridge is kind of 5 or 6 foot wide, and it's got to be 20, 25 foot wide.
I'm just thinking of getting the other side
long.
before he opens the door. How much room is there off the bridge the other side?
Not a lot. Basically, the bridge runs right up to the cliff, and then there's an alcove about maybe 2 feet deep, and then there's the doorway.
Yeah, I'll stay on the original shrine side. Yeah.
Okay, so it's just Baldor trying to get the door open.
Kate will go over and give him a hand.
Okay. If both of you are doing that, and you're both fairly strong, quick check of.
I can always call for more help if I need it.
Yeah. Okay, so has Baldor only got a brawn of 9? That surprises me. Okay, just got a brawn of 10. Yeah, no, I'll say yeah. So you guys kind of both get against it and shove it, and it like the couple of doors you've opened previously. There's a bit of resistance, and then it gives a little bit, and it stops, and it gives a little bit more. You can see the beginnings of the room inside, and it looks like it opens into a smallish room just the other side.
Okay, can we get the door open enough for just one of us to enter?
Yeah, no problem.
Okay.
And you're taking the torches that you brought. I'm guessing somebody's got one of those torches, yeah?
Yep.
Yeah, I vaguely recall I have one.
So, you should be able to see on the map. So, you guys can see that, yeah? Yeah. Okay. So, inside the door is again a really elaborately carved room. There's a doorway. Where are we? Down here, and it looks like there's an open doorway into a larger area. Yeah, it's faded. There's dust blowing around it. It looks like it has been. You're guessing probably centuries since anybody came this way. But you can see the splendour that will have faded with time written into the walls. Again, there are more general scenes of Khossus, and there's lots of forest scenes, just kind of lining the walls.
Okay, Louis, I want to come to the far side of the room.
Okay.
It looks like is there a little bit of corridor that goes further on, or a door or something?
At the bottom or at the top?
To the bottom.
To the bottom. There is a doorway at the bottom.
Is there a door in it?
There is. There's another stone door.
Okay, let's. And the at the top, is that open plan? There's no door there.
There's no door there.
Oh, we'll go and have a look at that then.
Yeah, that's where Cage is heading.
Okay. So you've only got one torch between you?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me see if I can get this working.
As soon as they'd enter the door that they've opened, Genghis would start crossing the bridge.
Yeah, same.
Okay. Right. So, looking into the higher of the doors, there's this just vast open hallway. Your torches can just about pick up the north end of it. There's a couple of alcoves that look like they go off. You get the kind of vague sense there might be some stairs in some of those alcoves. There is a couple of alcoves that look like they go off. You get the kind of vague sense there might be some stairs in some of those alcoves. There's a couple of alcoves that look like they go off. You get the kind of vague sense there might be some stairs in some of those alcoves. There's a couple of alcoves that look like they go off. You get the kind of vague sense there might be some stairs in some of those alcoves. you're not entirely sure what the room was used for now. There are piles of dust in the middle of the room, but that's about all. And a kind of musty smell. Not that unfresh, and you can hear from kind of further the other side of the hall there is the faint suggestion of running water, which kind of, given how close you are to the river, is not a huge surprise, but it sounds like it's coming from further in as well as further back.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm curious about the other door, so I'm going to wait for the others to come in. Sort of like wave them to go with Kadja into the bigger room, and then I'm going to go and try the stone door on the other side.
Okay.
I think Genghis would probably pull out some seeds or something that you might have and place them in this room.
Okay. Okay. I definitely get the feeling Genghis is quite superstitious at the moment, but okay.
Very much so.
I think to get this door open is going to take a is going to take at least 2 people to do.
I'm in there, so I'll give a hand.
Okay. So you manage to. It's got a large stone bar on it that you can just about get hold of and start pulling on, and eventually the door opens a little. The other side of the door, come on, it worked a minute ago. Let's try that again.
You can do it.
Roll 20. Dear,
Fog
oh dear.
of War's letting you down.
It really is. Oh, you want to see what I'm getting out of this? Right. Let's try this again.
You've got a funny little diagonal line appeared.
Right, let's.
There may be stairs going down.
Yeah. So just as you open the door, there are stairs going down, and that opens out into an open room. There is a shelf hidden underneath the roof, and the river just runs past outside about, I don't know, maybe 8 feet below, and it looks like this was fairly deliberate. It doesn't look like this is like this is here accidentally. It looks as though this area was put here designed to look like this.
Okay, I think we should go and check out that shelf before we move on, and not to split the party. What does everyone else think?
Is there enough room in there for all of us? Looks like there should be. If the bridge was.
Yeah.
If the bridge was that wide, it looks the same width, so 3 times the size. There's plenty of room.
Yeah, it's a pretty big area in there.
Yeah.
Well, there's 5 of us. So 2 of us go and check out the shelf thing at the end. 3 of us follow that path round, because it looks like it goes round and then goes somewhere else.
Yeah.
Could I suggest Kaja, Acton, and Aladai go over there, and me and Genghis will I'll check out the shelf.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Happy with
so
that?
what I mean by a shelf, I've probably not used a good term for this. So it's kind of like the floor comes to an end and forms a shelf that then goes down to the river. So it's not a shelf on the wall. This is I think you're actually all talking about the same thing, because I've described it badly.
Okay, so what I can see, is the opening onto the river.
Yes.
Yeah, but there seems to be some kind of little structure. So if you look at the stairs and follow the corridor along, there seems to be some little structure.
Okay, that's another door.
Okay.
So rather than a shelf, it's a drop.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Genghis and I check out that door.
Okay.
It looks like that shelf goes round and opens up on another door. Am I reading that right?
Yeah, I think so. And it's gloomy in here, but because it opens out onto the river, there is actually light in here. The overhang from the... So what I was trying to get at was that the ceiling goes out further than the floor. There's a bit of an overhang. Okay. But yeah, you can... It's not too narrow. There's a fair distance at any point between you and the edge, unless you want to kind of go and peer right over the edge, in which case there won't be. But
it's a toilet.
Could be. The one interesting thing that you will notice is neither of the two doors that you look at when you go into the room and work your way around the room, neither of those two doors have carvings on them. And in fact, the walls are not particularly carved. There's a couple of carvings up there, but there's nothing like the large hall has got these huge decorative friezes all round with lavish scenes and Khossus appearing in every single carving. There's a big face of Khossus on the back wall, but that's about it.
Okay, let's open that first door we saw when we got down the stairs.
Okay.
Door closest to the stairs.
Okay. Well, without me knocking the laptop onto the floor, which would be preferable. That's what I'm looking for.
I mean, would Genghis get a different feel for this room than the others?
Depends on what you mean by feel.
I mean, you've described every other room so far as very ornately carved and actually dedicated to the doings of Khossus himself. This room almost feels like something that's been added on, or almost like a second thought.
In terms of the quality of the stonework, this, it doesn't feel any different. But yeah, it is a lot less ornate.
Okay.
So as you guys push on on that first door, it opens in. I'll just open up this whole area. There we go. It opens into a moderate-sized room. I mean, it's not. It's certainly not a small room. It's just not a huge hall. And on the walls there are various stone shelves, and there are large urns, large stone urns on the floor. Some of which still have the seals. Oh, well, they're not sealed, but they've still got sort of stone lids on them.
If they like the Egyptian urns for storing body parts, whatever they're called, can't remember.
Canoptic jars.
Yeah, that's the ones. Yeah.
No, these are kind of, I don't know what, 3 feet tall, something like that.
For storing whole Egyptians. Right.
So it's almost like this is just a larder.
Storeroom for something.
I don't think Genghis would want to go through them. Not after what he's done on all the previous rooms and things like that. I'm going to go to the ledge and I'm going to have a wee. I think it's... I haven't had one for a while.
What's sealing the tops of the jars?
There are just kind of stone lids on them.
They look like it could just be lifted off if you wanted to.
Yeah. Yeah. They'd be heavy, but not insurmountably so.
Well, they're not crom. Let's open up a jar.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll pick one at random.
Okay. So the first one that you open, which wall? So there are a couple on the east wall and there's a couple on the north wall. Which do you want to open?
Let's go for the east wall.
East wall. Okay. So the east wall, the jars, the first jar you open, you take the lid off it, and it looks like it's just got dust in it, to be honest. It doesn't look like whatever's in there really
has any form anymore.
If you want to kind of get something and dig about in it, you could, but it just looks.
Does it smell of anything? Are we getting an aroma of anything?
There's a. I'm gonna say probably not after the amount of time this has been here.
That's fine. It's been sealed, so I just wondered.
Yeah.
Sorry, Louis. How many jars were there again?
There's probably about 8 jars along this side and about 2 or 3 on the north side underneath these shelves and things. And it looks, if you're standing there and you glance up at the shelves on this wall, again, there's just collections of dust on there. There's some marks where it looks like things might have rusted away over the centuries.
Okay. I'll go to the north wall and pick another jar, but I'll try and see if I can see one that looks maybe fresher than the rest.
Yeah, they don't particularly. I mean, none of them.
I know they probably don't look particularly fresh, but
yeah.
Okay, I'll just pick the one nearest to me on the north wall.
So you open that, and there's a smell hits you as you take the top off. Not hugely unpleasant. And you try and work out what it is, and it's definitely something familiar, and then it hits you as you glance up at the shelf, and there are these little stone things on the shelf, and you suddenly connect it, and what's on the shelf are lamps, and the smell that you're getting from this jar is of lamp oil or some kind of oil-based substance.
Can I try and light it the way I think the lamps should be lit? We've got a torch.
Yeah, looking at the lamp, you've got the lamp.
Yeah.
You have oil for it. You're going to need something to act as a wick. There isn't anything in here that looks like it would work as a wick.
What about a scrap bit of cloth?
Yeah, a scrap bit of cloth will work. So if you, you're going to be carrying, between you, one of you will be carrying that. So yeah, if you dip one of the, in fact, you find like there's a little bowl up as you go to move one of the lamps. Yeah. There's a little bowl behind it. You can take that, dip it, put some oil in there, get a bit of cloth, twist it, light it from the torch. Yeah, it still works.
Okay. Now we've got a lamp. Shall we all grab a lamp each and then just move back to the main hall?
Yeah, from the overhang they hear the sound of water trickling.
There's sound of water there anyway, because you are pissing into a pretty fast moving river.
Yeah. But they suddenly hear
I like the idea that you didn't want to do anything that might upset the god by going and disturbing jars. Just a leak out into the river.
If anything, I am true to character.
Yeah, no, we like it.
On that front, I'm going to take my lit lamp and head towards the big main room.
Okay. Okay, so the large room, there is a sense that you're going somewhere that is ancient, and as you move in, you feel yourself almost getting quieter as you step in. The lamps do quite a reasonable job of lighting up, and as you start to move into the hall, you spot that at the far north end there are what look like a couple of. It looks like there's a largish stone table at the north end, and then but there's just, you know, there's almost nothing else in here. The walls are again this said when you looked in it the first time, elaborately carved friezes of Khossus and his armies, and there are pictures of what you're assuming are Gothic villages or towns with lots and lots of smiling people, and it's a fairly friendly scene, or would have been, you know, 2,000 years ago. Now it's lit by lamplight and just dark and a bit empty. But there seems to be no furniture other than at the top end there is this large long stone table.
Okay, firstly, if there's any new stonework or whatever depicting something that Genghis hasn't seen before, then you'd look at trying to place something with it. Otherwise, this is all stuff we have seen before, and he's placed some sort of reference to it already, so he wouldn't do that. Additionally, as you're revealing it now, although there's the big stone table to the north, Genghis is quite a cautious character. So even with the stone table to the north, he'd want to ensure that each of them revealed archways to the right are clear before moving up. So I'd head to that first tunnel to the south of the room, southeast.
Okay. So you move to there, and from the light of your lamp, you can probably see a little further in than I've opened. Probably kind of to there. So it looks like it's a shortish tunnel, about the same length as the bridge. So it's a corridor, and at the end it looks like it just kind of opens up. You can't see the size of the room, obviously, from where you are, but it definitely gives you the feeling that it opens up in size at that point.
Yeah, it also looks like there's something very slightly to the left of that tunnel.
Yeah, it looks like there's an alcove off to the left, about halfway, just less than halfway up that corridor.
I take it with all the dust that I haven't asked yet. So you've said that this has been here for years, and although no one's been here for a long time, you do believe that there may have been people hunting for treasure. So there may have been people here before. Do they look like undisturbed footprints anywhere in the dust, or
no? There's the dust is thick. It's thicker in some areas than others, especially like in the main hall. It's really pretty thick.
Okay.
But
are we kicking up dust as we go, or is it damp so it's just staying down?
It's damp, so it's staying down. There's you've already found 2 areas where it's open to the river, and in fact, Genghis, as you stand there and look down the tunnel and focus on it, you can hear running water coming from the other end. You may even be able to see, there's probably actually a little bit of light. It's not absolutely pitch dark at the other end of that corridor.
Okay. Does someone want to look down here with me? There seems to be a little bit of light coming down.
I'll wander down there.
Yeah. As I'm taking a lead, probably for the first time, actually, I would, out of fear, if anything, not cautiously, but literally out of fear, probably have my hand on my stiletto ready.
Okay. So, lamp in one hand, hand on your knife.
Yeah, it's not drawn, but it's there.
Okay. Okay, I'll come back to you in a minute. So what's everybody else doing? What's Allardyce doing?
That's a good question.
It's all shadowy.
He's drunk his potion and forgotten.
No, he's not. Yeah, no, to be fair, it's probably at this point in time we may have just finished kind of examining the lamp oil and trying to see if there's any old properties to it that he can utilize, but ends up giving up and it's like, no, it's just oil. Should have expected that, really. But
Okay.
worth a shot.
What's Baldur doing? And then we'll get to Cager in a sec.
Baldur is probably going to. I'm going to go and have a look up the stairs in the middle.
Okay, so the one on the middle of the north wall.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, somebody pinged the stairs on the east wall. Then
Wasn't me.
Well, I'll go up those then.
Okay, so Aladai's going to go up the ones on the east wall. Baldur's going to go up the ones on the north wall. What does Cager fancy?
Oh, goodbye.
Kate is going up the ones right at the very end.
Okay, so we got 3 sets of stairs. Somebody's going up each of them.
Just
Efficiency of time, fantastic.
Okay.
This is not a time and motion study.
Okay.
I'm right behind Genghis.
So, okay, like I say, it is in fact up at this end. The further north you get, the deader, the more silent the area is. It leads out. Each one of those sets of stairs leads out onto a corridor. We'll try polygon reveal again, and we'll see whether or not it works. Doesn't work from there. Ah. Right. Oh, look at that. It's only flaming working. I think I have to start it somewhere that's fogged. So each of those leads onto a corridor. As Genghis and Cager quietly move up those steps and kind of peer out, you know, you see one another coming out, which may be a relief or maybe a bit of a shock, depending on how you take it. And Genghis is, in fact, Genghis probably from where you are, if you're looking up the stairs at the bottom, you'll be able to see first Aladai and then Cager. Baldur looks out onto that corridor at the end. Again, not as intricately carved, but still kind of decorated carvings. And there are several doors around there, each one with a face of Khossus embossed on it.
Seeing Aladai and Cager in the corridor, I'm going to turn to Actian and with 2 fingers point further down our corridor just to see what's down there.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not in agreement.
Okay.
Cage is probably going to turn left, so the opposite direction away from.
Okay. You can see a glimmer of light coming from up there, but I'm guessing that you will have realised that that's coming from. That's probably coming from Baldur. Okay. So you guys, the 3 of you that are in the corridors up there are looking around, and yeah, they seem deserted. There are 4 doors that lead off further east, and there are 3 doors that lead off to the north. I am going to say Baldur and Cager would probably notice about the same time that the doorway to the northeast About, we'll try and see if I can ping it about there. That has that looks like it's partly open. So
Sorry, that didn't ping for me.
okay, so on the north corridor, the easternmost door.
That one.
On the
That's
it.
Yep.
Yeah, for some reason it's not pinging when I try and ping it.
Those got control. It's all right.
So as Genghis and Actian move further down their corridor, you guys find let me open this up, a large circular chamber with another corridor leading off from it. Let me find my notes to tell you what's in there.
There's no corners to search.
There are not, no. Yeah, so the large circular room is just a large circular chamber. In the middle of it, there is a... Did that back open again? I don't want that. I don't want that. Find. Okay. Yeah. So there is a large statue in the middle of the room of who you are assuming at this point to be Khossus, and he's standing with a large axe with its head on the ground and his hands on the haft, looking directly down the corridor that you've walked up.
Like he's relaxed but on guard, yeah.
And yeah, beyond him you can see another corridor heading down, which does have light glimmering down it, and you can see another corridor that heads south, which again has light coming from it. It looks like daylight. It doesn't look like
okay.
It doesn't look like firelight.
So can we walk round the statue and check it out from behind? Is it
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's fine. The statue is, as you get closer to it, you realise it's actually a kind of, it's half statue, half carving into a gigantic pillar that holds the roof up, and there are 4 faces of Khossus, all identical, around the pillar, but put in such a way that they almost face the 3 corridors that you come in to this room on. Leaving you there, what are the 3 guys in these corridors back off the main hall doing? There is one of the doors has a appears to be open.
Okay, you're just going to head straight for that door.
Okay. There we go. Pings when I do it there. Okay. So Kadra and Baldur are stood by that door, I'm guessing. Simon's gone, so I'm going to say he is.
Yep.
Okay. So peering through it with your lamps or your torches, it leads into a small stone room, fairly sparse, basically empty though. Anything that was here has been removed and got rid of. or has been removed or destroyed by age and time. But yeah, there is just this very small room. There is actually Baldor's fairly observant, I think. I know Cage's character sheet.
Page
10. And Baldor's got oh no, Baldor's got a 1-9. I'll get on a
Actian and Genghis are a bit more.
Yeah, on a 110 as you're peering around the room, I'll give you it.
Allardyce shows up.
There is a small shaft at the top, at the back of the room. I mean, kind of yay round, nothing more than that. But
sorry, can you repeat how yay round that was? I was on the wrong window.
Yeah, only about that size, just up in the back corner of the ceiling.
Cool.
But yeah, other than that, it is just a rectangular room with a large stone door on it.
Sort of conveniently sized for an arm, maybe?
No, I mean it's up at. I mean the room's 8 feet tall, and then there's just at the back there's this small hole in the ceiling.
Kate is going to sigh in frustration before going in to look up at the
Look up the shaft.
Yeah. I was trying so carefully not to word it like that, but I couldn't think of anything.
Giving head, looking at the shaft.
Hey.
It's been a good evening. Back pending.
Right.
Rated 18.
Yeah, you can't see as you. Do you want me to carry on, or shall I stop for a little while?
Carry on with your blow by blow description.
Okay. As you look up through the hole, it doesn't look as though there's anywhere else. There is a shaft that penetrates the ceiling. Okay, yeah. So it goes up probably about as far as your lamplight can see, without getting any wider or without really getting any narrower.
Okay. Is it looking any sign of light from there, or?
No, completely dark.
Call out to the others. Can't see all that far up here.
So you've probably got Baldur and Allardyce
Yep.
fairly close by.
So call out to them.
Yeah, I'm going to ignore and go and open the door on the west.
Okay. Okay, you managed to get the door open. It's not as heavy as some of the other doors that you've come across. It's not quite such thick stone. And again, there is just the same kind of small stone room. It's got the same hole in the ceiling, but other than that, completely empty. You're muted, Simon.
Are there any stones around the hole?
No, there is a small pile of dirt on the floor, vaguely underneath it. not very large, just a little bit of kind of silted earth there.
But it looks like the earth everywhere else.
Well, the rest of this is stone. All of the buildings are carved from stone. They're all flagged.
Charlie, control yourself.
I'm changing your phone.
At least go on mute. Yeah, this is Earth.
Okay, I'll shut that and make my way around to the middle room. See if it's exactly the same as the others.
Okay. I'm going to leave you guys checking the doors here and cut back to Actian and Genghis. So if you guys have explored that room, if you guys have been walking around that room, give me a minute. Sorry, I'm not going to drop anything on you, at least not physically.
Genghis was thinking that if 3 of the faces are effectively searching the 3 corridors, I want to pay some attention to where the 4th face of Khossus would be looking.
Okay. What I am going to say is, as you've moved around that room, you've now seen down the other 2 corridors. So you can see that the one to the south heads down out to the other bridge that you could see from the top. The one to the east is another corridor. It looks fairly similar to the ones that you glimpsed that were heading north, where the others are exploring.
Yep.
And it ends up coming out. It looks like there is a. It looks as though there's a hole on the right-hand side of the corridor near the end of it. It's probably only about 2 feet high, something like that. But you can see daylight streaming in through there into the corridor. Okay, so you want to examine the wall to the north of that statue.
Effectively, yeah.
Okay. You have a good look at it. You do not manage to find anything on there. There's carvings of Khossus in battle. There's all of the sort of the 4 standard motifs that you're seeing are repeated throughout the whole complex, but there doesn't seem to be anything that unusual about it. Are you and Actian both sort of looking to see if you can find kind of any riddle in that frieze or in those carvings?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I am. Yep.
Okay. You're gonna like this. Do you want to give me a lore check? One of you can assist the other if you would like.
I am a
Useless Norton 7.
I'm Norton 8.
Looks like I'll assist then.
So I'll roll 2 of them.
I'll roll 1 of them.
Okay.
Nothing and a complication.
Nothing.
And nothing. So just a complication.
So
You can use
just
that
a
style points,
complication.
but yeah.
You break it.
I think the law suggests I should be kicking this.
Okay.
I fought the law and the law won.
Yeah.
That made me laugh more.
Okay. So I'm going to leave you guys kind of really looking at that and trying to work out what's going on with it. And I am going to... I think the easiest way for me to do this is just to say, so the rest of you guys were searching those rooms off the corridors until you found something unusual. So if I show you that, each of those doorways just leads into an almost identical room. They all have this small hole in the ceiling at the back, but that is about the only feature they have. And several of them, if Baldor's looking in them, you can see there's a small pile of earth or slightly coarser dust.
Detritus.
Yeah, underneath the underneath a couple of those holes, but there's nothing that you can find in there that would lead you to.
And all those rooms are the same, are they?
Yeah, they are all pretty much identical.
Okay, I'm going to walk down the corridor back to where the corridor is that Genghis and Action are looking down, and sort of like wander down there, wander down into the circular room. This is all very boring.
Okay, does that work for Aladai and Cager as well?
Yep, Cage will be looking visibly frustrated.
Can I ask Baldor if he thought they were big enough to be small bedrooms or something in the past?
Bal should just shrug and say, I don't know.
Okay.
So which way have you two gone? You two have gone down to the river, have you?
No, we just stayed and looked at the wall here.
They looked at the north wall opposite the corridor to the bridge.
Yeah, we explained the fact that there's a statue of Khossus here that's part of the main structure of the cave. There's 4 faces. One faces, or roughly faces, each of the corridors, but there's a 4th one that doesn't really point to anything. So we're trying to see if that's some sort of clue.
Okay, but that corridor that leads off to the northeast looks like it has a number of doors.
Yeah.
So
it's got a number of doors, and at the far end of it, there is what looks like a hole in the wall, only about the bottom of the bottom of the wall, about 2 feet high.
Right,
and that's letting in light.
If Genghis and Action want to take in the local artwork and carry on looking at the wall, why don't me, Kadja, and Aladai go and have a look at those doors? That makes sense?
Sure.
Okay.
Cage is going to have a quick look where the 4th face is looking. So on the wall opposite that, and then she'll go on down the other corridor.
Okay. You guys are unable to find anything in that carving that that really seems to signify anything. And when you manage to get into these doors, again, you just find they are single small rooms with, again, these small holes in the ceiling at one point.
And the word cave.
Yeah, I only just noticed that. That's what Dyson's
good observation, Doug.
Dyson's maps are pretty good. If I ping it from this machine, you guys will be able to see it. So at this point here, there is a fairly sizable hole in the wall where it's dropped. And if you go and you have a look at it, you can see it looks as though part of the cliff face has started to drop into the river. And there's been a small hole made as water's smashed up against it. Though this is the side, that side channel that runs through it. It runs faster than the main body of the water did. It's quite rapid water down there.
Does it look like it should have carried on to the other side?
No. In fact, you can see the very end of the tunnel. So just past that 4th door, you can see where the wall comes back, but it's started to erode and fall away. But it looks like this was the end of this tunnel.
Okay. Well, I think we have to cross another bridge.
Looks like it.
Will it be?
Okay.
Will it be a bridge too far?
Might be a pun too
Find
far.
out in the next episode.
On your way, just because there is one more.
Look, there's another one.
Okay.
Was this a Premier Inn by any chance?
Now the rooms are bigger.
That's just a travel lodge.
Okay. So you guys get down to the end of that corridor, and it opens back out onto another bridge that crosses the stream. This bridge is similar to the last, but if anything, more eroded. More of the panels are missing from the side. There's more cracks in the stone. It doesn't look as if it's about to fall into the river by any means, but it's a lot more eroded than it was. The tunnel opposite is slightly taller than the ones you've been in. The ones you've been in have been kind of, I don't know, about 8 feet tall. This is probably looking into the gloom, and it is a dark hole into the cliffside, the other side of it, especially as you're standing looking from the tunnel into the light. But it is, you're fairly sure it's a taller tunnel entrance opposite you that leads into the dark there.
And that was the bridge we saw from the top of the ravine.
Yeah, you saw both of the bridges from the top of the ravine, but yeah, that's the first one of the bridges that you saw from the top of the ravine.
I think I would like to cross the bridge first. However, do we have enough rope to get us across this spanning bridge in case it does go? At least that way we've still got a rope to get back out.
I believe we have.
I believe too.
Okay, tie the rope to me. I'll cross the bridge and try and find somewhere on the other side to tie it to.
Is there somewhere this side to tie it?
Well, that I would suggest might be a good idea for you guys to have a look while I'm crossing the bridge.
Well, hold on tight to it while we're looking.
Genghis insists that you don't use the statue of Khossus as an anchor point.
I'm not sure that you'd have enough rope if you did that either, because it's a fair way back inside. What you can find is there are it looks as though there were maybe some large iron rings on the sides of the entranceway, and they look like they have rusted away. There's markings in the stone, but what there are is the points where those rings used to go, and you could you could tie a rope off to that.
That'll do.
Test. Yeah.
Baldur, our old ship, not Baldwin, actually, our old shipmate, should be good at tying knots.
Yeah, we get a ship shape with a half hitch, should we?
Okay, and with that, I will slowly cross the bridge.
Okay.
We're going to feed it's the end's tied off, but I'm going to feed the rope out as it goes.
If you're taking your time to cross the bridge, then it's
yes.
Yeah, no, that's a D0 test, so you don't need to roll for that. So you work your way across. There's a decent breeze being whipped up by the water as you walk across, and the balustrades are mostly missing from this bridge. There's occasional bits that are still there, but it's 6 foot wide. You can stand in the middle. You don't exactly feel too exposed. Are you carrying a torch with you?
We've all got lamps, haven't we?
Yeah, I'm just trying to work. So you're going to try and carry a lamp across?
I'll try and carry a lamp across, yeah.
Okay. You're used to lamps and fire and things. If you try and walk across here carrying a lamp, it is going to blow out unless you've used your other hand to kind of try and shield the flame.
Does it look like you need it on the other side straight away?
It looks pretty dark. You could probably step the first sort of 2 or 3 feet in without needing it, certainly, but you wouldn't be able to see what was ahead. So yeah, you can let it go out and relight it.
I'll let it go out, and then I'll light it when I get to the other side of the bridge.
Okay.
Can I shout across? Can you check to see there's an anchor point to tie the rope off on the other side?
Okay. So you walk your way across the bridge. It feels as stable as it looked. There are some fairly sizable cracks in it, but it's not kind of literally just about to fall into the water. When you get to the other side of the bridge, you can see from just the daylight behind you, you can find an anchor point.
Yeah.
Flipping thing. You can see the corridor goes forwards maybe 10 feet or so before it opens out into a room. But beyond the fact that it looks like it opens out into a space, from here with the light streaming in behind you, having just come out of it, you can't make out what's in there.
Okay, first thing I do is secure the rope.
Okay.
Then I crouch in the entrance where I relight my lamp.
Okay, it's guttering a bit in the breeze, but yeah, you get the rope tied off, and then you manage to...
I shall kind of sort of like shout back. It was fairly stable. You should be all right.
Louis, can I check that this cave is the first one we've encountered so far without a stone door?
There was no doorway between the original complex that you went into and the first bridge.
But that was a built structure. We're now going into...
But then there was a doorway on the other side.
But we're now going into like a cave, aren't we, almost?
No. You're going into a... It's
a built structure.
It's a corridor. It's a tunnel into the hillside, but it is a corridor. It's flagged stone. In fact, the carvings are... Yeah, from where you're standing, once you've got your lamp lit, you can see further into the further into that tunnel just before it starts to open out. The carvings become again pretty elaborate on carved stone panels. And
okay, I shall wander in there to the point my lamp stops, to literally just inside that corridor.
Okay.
I kind of want to get out the draft so the lamp is fairly stable and everyone can see where I've gone.
Okay, so you get probably halfway between where it starts to open up and where the bridge is, and it looks as though this is just the carvings probably would have been here, but they've been eroded by the river and the spray and the weather. What do the rest of you want to do?
Now he's across. Can I head across and hold the rope?
You can. Yeah. If you leave a bit of slack, you can even walk across the middle of the bridge whilst... If you tie the rope, it depends on how tightly you want to tie that rope off.
Well, I've already tied it off before we went across, so I'm assuming he tied it with a little bit of slack in it.
Okay. In which case, yeah, you can cross over.
And I'll light my light off his light when we get there.
Okay. So Actian and Baldur are now stood there. There's probably room for one more person to get off the bridge. I mean, the rest of you can stand on the bridge. It's not, it's not yay wide and swaying around. It's a 6 foot wide stone bridge.
But now there's two across. We can take a couple more steps forward once we get a third person across.
Yeah.
Go on. Genghis will walk across.
Okay. So we got Baldur and Actian are already across. Genghis has walked across. And we've now got 2 lamps in that doorway, haven't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So the light from your lamps will illuminate. Come on. Flaming thing. Right, let me pick the right tool
It's a
for the job.
lamp. It's on fire.
Go away. There we go. I am getting better with Roll20, but it still seems a little bit odd to me at the moment. Right.
What's that?
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So you can see a chamber that opens up. It's still from where you are in the corridor. It's a bit obscured. It looks as though, squinting, you can make out a large figure stood right in the middle of the chamber, and on the floor, coiled around it, you think you can only see the bits that are closest to you. It looks like a large carved snake, which would tie in with what Cager learned about Khossus.
Stone snake. I guess.
Yeah, it looks like
carved,
a yeah. But
looks like
really huge, way too huge. Well, I mean, way too large to be real. You know, really gigantic. Yeah, but kind of coiled. Looks like it's coiled around a central point. In the middle of the room. And
now
you think that, I mean, without stepping kind of full into the room, it's going to be a bit difficult to see.
So can we wave the others across now? As I've got a candle, I'll wave to them.
Do Cager and Aladai want to go across?
I was going to say, you first or me first, Aladai. Then Cage will make sure he gets over the other safely, then she'll head over.
Okay.
And we can spread out around the north wall, along the north wall a bit.
Okay, so you're going to step kind of just inside that room a bit.
Once they're all across.
Okay. Okay, so Actian and Baldur going to both step in?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I'll head right. I stand right a little bit.
Okay. So let me open this up so you can see what's there. Oh, come on. There we go. Okay, there is something missing from this map, I've suddenly realised. So there is a...
What, a cave?
Statue.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. I am going to get the 2 of you to give me observation checks.
Okay. Separately, or?
Yeah. I'll get each of you to make me an observation check. I will remind you at this point that if you want to, you have
2 points left.
2 momentum left in the pool, and you each have a fortune point.
What do we need to get? 1 or 2?
You are going to... I will give you differing information depending on how many successes you get.
While they're doing that, Louis, obviously, Genghis would be stood on the breach of the room without actually going in.
Yeah.
And I would be looking at this different statue of Khossus that we've seen so far, trying to compare it to the others we've seen.
Okay, make me an observation check, and I'll see. You're focused primarily on this statue in the middle of the room.
Yep.
Okay, give me an observation check.
Let me just check.
And I want observation checks from Actian and
So that's
Baldur
two
as well.
Doing mine.
D20, yeah?
Oh, one that I can re-roll one of them. So I've got a 1, so that's 2 successes. And I can re-roll one of them. Giving me another success. I've got 3 successes.
3 successes.
I mean, I've got 2, so I won't re-roll that 11 because that's still a success for me. So I'll take 2.
Okay.
I had to re-roll mine.
I failed completely.
Okay. Right. So the statue in the middle of the room, as Genghis looks at it, looks remarkably similar to the statue that was in the circular room behind you. Although this one looks like it is just a freestanding statue. And he is stood with this gigantic snake coiled, taking up most of the floor space of the inside of the chamber.
Is he still armed with an axe, or...?
He still has the axe, and again the axe is downmost, and he is stood there.
Does it have a similar featured
the
face?
shop.
Does he have the same grimace, smile, whatever look?
Yeah, he's looking very regal and resolute.
And would so because I'm looking at it'd be the snake as well as the statue. Would the snake be looking up at him, or?
Okay, you got 2 successes.
Yes, I did.
Okay. The statue does it isn't looking up at him. Its head is just down. In fact, you're trying to work out exactly where the head is. It's just like the huge, vast coils of this snake.
Yep.
You have half a feeling that this statue might be possibly breathing, as unlikely as that sounds.
Breathing.
Breathing.
You have a feeling that this thing is moving very slightly.
Okay. Bearing in mind how superstitious I've been so far, I think I'd immediately drop the lamp and draw my bow. I don't think I'd shout to anyone. I think I'd literally I'd knock an arrow, draw a bead at it. I wouldn't shoot, but I'd be looking, waiting for it to move. I don't know if anyone had noticed that, but...
Oh, I think they would. So you drop the lamp. Baldur's kind of looking around the room going, okay, there's a statue, there's lots of carvings on the walls. Action's scanning the room, looking at the carvings, possibly trying to tie the imagery of the snake to the Stygia, to conquest over Stygia. That's possible. And then as the other two are standing behind Genghis, he just drops the lamp. There's a loud clang as this chunk of stone hits stone. The light goes out.
Oh, something.
I mean, not everybody's light goes out, obviously, but his light goes out as it hits, and he suddenly draws an arrow and knocks it and starts to pull back. And it is at that point that I would say Actian starts to see the snake move.
Okay.
Make a sanity roll.
Wrong game.
Call of Cthulhu? No, Conan.
Not necessarily.
Conan. So, as I'm actually really looking for something, I've found it. It's not as scary as it might normally be.
Yeah.
So I would draw my sword and tell the others the snake's moving.
And at action drawing, I would immediately release.
Okay.
I wasn't sure, but for him to act is enough for me,
Yeah.
and I would release.
Okay. We are in combat, so let me make a quick note. Find enough space on here for the pad. Okay, so
Before you do that, in my look around the room in observation,
yeah,
did I notice any alcoves in the outside wall? Or
no,
shelves or anything?
no.
No?
If
To
it
put
were
my lamp-
Alad, I would have already been in them.
No, to put my lamp.
Are there any niches in the walls? There probably are, but they're not. There aren't many that you're going to want to try and reach just
No, that's fine.
now.
I was just checking. Rather than put my lamp on the floor, I'll keep holding it.
Oh, come on, my brain's gone dead.
But it's obviously going to affect my shield.
And
Okay, Cage will definitely be perking up.
It's been relaxed and
Yes.
quiet till now.
okay,
Yeah.
right.
Talking to Rex
So-
now. Come on, boys.
That's completely in character for boredom and frustration, I hasten to add.
Yeah, give me half a sec.
Come on, Cage is hurrying up. Come on.
Oh, come on. I didn't have time to do this earlier. To remember how many of. There we go. Right.
At this point, Louis, before we actually begin combat, can we take 5 for a quick toilet break?
That sounds like a good plan to me. That sounds like a very
Is
good
it
plan.
5 for a cup of tea?
Yep. Yeah.
Right.
Let's take
Charlie read my
5,
mind.
and
Yeah.
then we'll. That's a
We'll be right
deeply good thought. Okay, I'll
Pause.
Back in 5.
pause there. Be back in a couple.
Right.
There's a bit of a lag on that. I'll turn that off now. Yeah, that's all right. That's what's going out live on YouTube.
Ah. Very good.
Oh, right. Quick break. I'll hobble upstairs. Was your meeting good? Excellent. Sorry, my head's still in the game.
And we're back. No analysis. Cool.
And he's back.
Exactly what I said.
Huh? Yeah.
It's exactly what I said.
And you're back in the room.
Yeah.
You're stuck in the foreground. What's happened?
Foot really hurts. Bloody annoying.
We're going to have to ask him what sort of snake it is now.
Yeah.
Should I do a Harry Potter and start speaking in snake tongue?
Parcel
tongue.
tongue.
Yeah.
What's that? We could ask the other Potter.
Ah!
Potter.
Ooh.
Potter.
Speaking of the other Potter, let me fill that up with water and make a cup of tea.
Right, check these.
If ever I make an acrobatic roll, does that mean I need to make an acrobatics roll?
Probably.
Well, just checking.
With regards to what?
You know, one of them sort of
In a
side
gymnast.
tumbles where you roll over and stand up again.
It depends. There's some stuff you can do which is it'll just be, yeah, fine, okay, describe it, you can do it. If it's something that is caused with mechanics, then yeah, you'd have to make an acrobatics roll.
Okay.
You deal with a lot of it as a D0, but some of
That's
it might
right.
well be a...
Yeah, whilst holding a torch and a full sword, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, it's a lamp, not a torch. If you'd been holding a torch, it'd be less likely for it to go out.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I'm wondering what to do with my lamp. That's why I was asking about alcoves. If it goes dark, I won't be much good.
Right, have we got everybody back? Bell's still making a cup of tea.
Mm-hmm.
I noticed you haven't sorted your green tinge out lately.
Am I still tinged green?
Yeah.
Doesn't
Not
look
as green
that,
as last time, but you're still
doesn't
got
look
green.
that green. You still think I look green?
Yeah,
No,
a little
no.
bit, not too much. No, it didn't make any difference. That's
Go
green.
that way. I'm
That's
going that
green,
way.
yeah. That's a bit better. Back a bit.
About
That's
there.
better.
There.
That's right.
Hey.
I've seen him in the flesh today, and he's not a Green Lantern or anything like that.
I'm just thinking if we can get some really good editing software, we might be able to read the reflection in his glasses and find out what's coming up.
You would need... I mean, yeah, I don't think that's going to happen, do you?
We could get him some mirror shades, couldn't we?
Oh, dear. What did I do to deserve this?
And tell him he's auditioning for Top Gun or something.
Yeah.
Run a Conan game.
Yeah.
Or buy him new glasses with a camera fitted so we see what he sees.
Oh, you don't want that.
Glasses.
Innuendo Conan, rated 18
Now we've left the innuendo room.
for now.
Yeah.
Yeah, with you guys, I would.
You laughed at your own thing before we did. Before Doug commented. The moment he said it, he started chuckling. I thought he was going to keep straight face. He's going to do it. No.
Nah, not good at that. Bell.
And then I caught Bell with the law one.
Is that the second verse?
I think so. The law one again, though.
Yeah. I wasn't going to relight my fire one. My lamp was out.
Your love is... Yeah. You're Louis making reference to Spice Girls.
I don't. I'm quite glad I missed that.
So am I.
Yeah. You moved it a little bit. A little bit more.
I see. I was never a big enough Spice Girls fan to know all the lyrics. Okay, right. So, Genghis releases his arrow at
He does.
This
huge snake as it starts to move.
It just wants a hug.
Okay, right. Make me an attack roll.
Okay, so firstly, I'm using my marksman because I'm not moving. So I gain I stopped and notched it, and then as soon as Charlie acted, so I spent some time preparing the shot.
No. If you want to get the shot off the moment that this all happened pretty much instantly, I'm gonna your bonus action was you dropped your lamp, you drew the bow, and then as he suddenly went, whoa, you released. I'm not giving you a free bonus action for this round on that. Normally,
okay.
Yeah, but not now.
That's fine. So I'm going to attack it. I'm not going to use anything from the pool for now.
Okay.
It'd help if I actually put it in Roll20 and not in the Google Hangouts chat.
I'll make that 2 runs, Doug.
I thought so. I saw that too.
Oh,
but
could be worse.
I don't know. Don't I get to re-roll one of them? No, it's the damage die I get to roll. That's okay. So it's not a complication because I am definitely skilled in archery.
Yeah.
So on a 313, that is still a hit.
Oh, okay.
A success.
Okay, so that's a success. Okay, so you don't score any momentum from that, but you do manage to get the arrow to strike home, so roll me some damage.
Well, that's where you're not quite right, because my new trick shot ability means I gain a momentum on a hit.
Yeah, you're right. You are right. Gain 1 bonus momentum on the range on the damage pool. Yeah, no, okay. No damage stroke pull? What?
No, every time I hit, I gain a momentum, but I cannot use it to increase the damage on that attack. So, 5d6.
5d6?
Yeah.
What?
2, 4, 6, 7, 8. I think I'll...
So you've got 8. So you've got 8 plus a... plus one of those is an effect.
Which is, there's nothing really on my
bow which does that.
Bow. But now I'm going to refer to the page I've got open, which is my momentum spend examples. And
you already had 2 momentum.
I've got 1 actually from the hit.
No, you can't spend that, you said.
I can't spend it to increase the damage, but as long as no one minds, I'm going to take 1 from the pool.
Yeah.
So that damage is hit anyway, Louis. So that's 8.
Okay, so that's 8. I'm just trying to work out where I've got. Oh, come on. Sorry, I know I've got armour down here somewhere, but can I find it? I don't know whether or not this thing's got armour, but I know I made a note of what its armour was.
Well, it's not 8.
Oh, that's it. Right. Yeah, no, it's soak. Okay. No, it's not. It has no soak at all. So, okay. So, you do 1 wound.
And 3.
And you get 3 into it. Okay.
And then with my point from trick shot and another one from the pool, if everyone's happy with that, I'm going to take swift action.
Okay. So
and
that
I'm
gets
going
you
to
a
attack again.
second shot. So Ollie, do you want to drop that momentum out you've got in the pool?
I won.
But do you want to just spend the one that you just got for free? Leave it in there.
Yeah. No. Drop 1, Ollie.
Yeah, we'll do.
Okay, that's going to be a D2 because the difficulty goes up by 1 when you take a swift action. So that's fine, but that's now a D2 test.
Okay. What range is it?
I'm going to say that's close range.
So it is optimal. So that don't reduce by 1 anyway. So it's still a D2. So we roll 2D. So roll 2D20. No, that's not going to hit.
Okay. So your second arrow goes wide. Okay.
It does indeed.
I am going to spend. Where's my doom spends gone? Oh, please tell me I picked up the one with the flipping doom spends on it.
I still think 1 momentum down because he spent 1 and he gained 1.
No, he spent 2.
Spent 2.
He spent 2 to get a fast action, to get a swift action. That's
right, okay.
that's 2. I'm trying to remember how many. I thought I'd got a piece of paper out that told me all of this, and I suddenly found that I haven't. Oh, come on, doom spends. Doom spends.
See, I had the sense to have the momentum spends ready, Louis.
I've got the momentum spends ready. It's the doom spends that I don't. That's the annoying thing. Hopefully, it's on
You're
the
being
GS screen.
rude, Mr. Dog.
It is. It's all right. I'll come back to bite him.
You have to wait till after combat to be rude.
No, he's a charmer.
Okay, right. I am going to spend 1 doom from this thing's personal pool, which was 3. So I'm going to spend 1 doom from its personal pool to have it act now. So it starts to move. As it starts to move, 4 more considerably larger than normal snakes likewise writhe out from within its coils. They're still going to act on their thing, but I want everybody to make me a D5 discipline check.
You did say sanity roll.
Yeah, and that's basically what this is.
D5 discipline.
Everybody needs to make me a D5 discipline check.
So what would fortune give us here? Is that 2?
Fortune, it depends. Fortune would allow you to put down 1 dice. You'd still roll 2. If you spent a fortune, that would put it would put a bonus dice on a 1. So if you have skill in discipline, then that would be worth 2 successes. If you don't, that would be worth 1 success.
I am going to use, for the first time, one of my fortunes.
I have 2 experience and 2 focus.
I'm trying to work out why Cage has rolled 5d6.
Because she just wants to hurt it.
Because I pressed the wrong thing, basically.
Okay, so recap. You need 5 successes in order on a discipline check in order to do this. As standard, you will roll 2d20. So you can choose if you want to burn extra dice, or you can just say, you know what, I'm never going to manage that. Don't worry about it.
So
I accidentally copied
my damage roll.
Yeah, so I just went control copied and then realised what I actually hit. But
Okay, Louis. So you say that the fortune is a bonus die.
Yeah, give me off
two
Bell.
successes.
Can you bring your mic down because you're quite faint?
Sorry, how's that?
That's better. Okay, so fortune was a bonus die. What's your?
Okay, if that's the case,
I think you just managed.
I have just got 5 successes.
Nice. Okay. In which case, you are not put off by this thing's coils writhing and everything else.
What a roll!
Anybody else can? You can buy Doom from me. You can spend a fortune once you've started rolling. So Simon, why are you rolling 3?
Because I spent a fortune. You said it was 1 dice for a fortune.
No. A fortune gives you 1 dice, which is automatically put down
That's one
facing up as a 1 on the dice. So you don't have to roll that. I will be nice to you, and I will take the 12 as your fortune.
Right. I'm a failure.
So you get what? Hang on. Right. So Baldur.
So my discipline is 10, 3, 3.
Okay, so it's a 3-10. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So
that's 5 as well.
You're going to get 5 successes. Blimey, I was not expecting anybody to pass this. This is fine. No, this is fine. It's just not what I was expecting.
Poor Cager.
Sorry. So Action was
1.
Right.
Successful 1.
Was Action spending fortune or not?
I was going to, yes.
Okay.
But it would have got me up to 2.
3. Have you got any focus in it?
Okay, so hang on. Right,
Yes,
so
2.
Baldur needs to burn that fortune point.
Go on.
On roll 20.
First.
So you need to drop a fortune point out. Then, Charlie, you were going to burn a fortune. So
Yep.
burn a fortune. That gives you...
I thought he said he was going to burn 2 fortune.
No, 1.
He's not helping you, is he?
I would burn 2, but no, I did say I was going to burn 1.
Okay. So you've got a discipline of 2-9.
Yep. So I've got 1 success from the dice.
And
2
2 from that, which is 3, which is not enough.
Enough.
So
Yep.
even with the fortune, you fail.
Yep.
Cager, that's definitely a fail. Were you going to burn or not? It's not going to make any difference. But were you planning on? Because you should say whether or not you're going to burn fortune before you roll.
Sorry, is that me?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I wasn't planning on it.
Okay.
I figured I've got a discipline of 1-8, so I figured I'm fairly undisciplined, so it didn't seem logical. It didn't seem in character to burn it.
You didn't need to have rolled, but as you have rolled, I'm going to take those 2 doom for the complication. And Aladai, did you burn or not?
I used the last momentum.
You used the last momentum to gain 1 extra die.
Yeah, and I got a 2, a 1, and an 8.
A 2, a 1.
And I have a 2-10, so I also got 5.
Good grief! No, that is phenomenal on a single momentum spend. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so
lucky. I think my luck's probably run out now.
So is Cager the only person that failed that then?
No, I failed.
And
yeah. Okay.
Action.
Right. So Cager and Axiom.
The 2 heavy fighters have failed.
Well, brains, not so strong on the brains.
That's why I'm actually pleased I failed. It made a degree of sense.
Okay.
Not furthest to the
Oh,
No, that's not too bad actually. So each of you take 4 resolve damage.
all of us, or just those that failed?
Those that failed take 4 resolve damage.
I'll still be good at this.
Just as this is beyond unnatural, as you know, evidently both of them have a problem with snakes anyway, or aren't particularly comfortable with snakes. But this thing's
You
like
don't see many at sea.
no.
Yeah.
Well, in fact, and those that you've heard of, from your mariner friends are particularly scary.
Yeah, super sea serpents.
Yeah.
Yes,
Sorry,
This is the size of a sea serpent. This is vast.
I've never seen them. Go on.
What's
Sorry, Louis. Just
go on?
sorry, Louis. Just to clarify.
Okay, so we ignore the 3 on the damage die.
Well,
So we ignore the 3 on the damage die.
okay.
We've got a 1, a 2, and a 1, so there's no effects rolled. So you take 4, but that's resolve damage, not vigor damage. So that's
Yes,
to
sorry,
your
no.
to your psyche, to your bravery.
Got it sorted. Sorry, my sheet was confusing me, but sorted it.
Which
Okay.
is weirdly enough, Genghis has actually got better resolve than he has vigor.
Okay, so
does
this thing kind of uncoils. Right, we've done fear. Got that, and I've burned one of those already. It is the tail whips out. Who's going to be closest to it?
There's only 2 in the room.
It's probably going to be Bulldog or Actian.
Quiet,
I'm going to work on it. It could possibly reach Doug at the moment, but I'm going to say the reason why Actian failed that was because the tail was heading straight for him. So I am going to burn another one of these Doom that I have here for an extra dice, and I'm going to go 3d20. Damn. Okay.
Louis, remind me, if you get a complication, that's a good thing for you, isn't it?
No, it's not. It's a bad thing for me. It's a good thing for you.
If Louis rolls a 20, we all gain a fortune.
No, not quite. I'm going to buy that off with 2 Doom because at this point in the battle, I can't think of anything suitable to spend that on. So that means I only get 1 success on my attack.
Well, that's good.
So does Actian want to try and parry that attack?
Yes, he does.
Okay.
Fun.
And I use deflection, so it doesn't cost me anything.
Okay, you got deflection, so it doesn't cost you anything. So make me a parry roll. You
2
only
dice or
need
1?
1 success. 2 dice, but you only need 1 success.
Okay, well, I think I've got a success there. My parry is 314. So it's 3 successes.
Got 3 successes.
Okay,
Nice.
so
3, yeah.
2 momentum.
2 momentum.
His sword was out before the tail even moved in the parry
Yeah.
position
I
ready.
was already there before he...
Yeah.
okay,
He had his minor freak out and just sort of managed to
yeah.
slash
So
my
this thing.
equivalent of button bashing.
Okay, so the tail whips round across the floor, and yeah, Actian manages to get his sword down in time to try and block it. Okay, right. So back to you guys. There are, just so you've got this straight in your heads, there are 4 giant snakes in here, things that you would normally count as giant snakes, and then there is this thing.
The mother.
Yeah, the brood mother of all snakes the earth over.
She's got an arrow sticking out of her.
She's got 1 arrow sticking out of her, but to be honest, her bulk is wider than Cage's shoulders.
I think it's 2 axes then.
Tact and diplomacy.
Yeah.
Yep. Challenge
So,
accepted. They may both come out.
Yeah, I'm going to say Cager or Aladai could get by. Not both of you are going to be able to get by because Genghis is standing right in the middle of that passageway in front of you with an arrow knocked. But who wants to move first?
Aladai would look to Cager and be like,
ladies first.
Ladies first.
I was going to say Cage would probably do her best to shove past Alakai if he tried to. No.
That's the reason that second. That's the reason that second arrow missed, mate. was Cager just catches your arm.
Gotcha.
Coming through.
Okay. In which case, Cager, there is actually there are 2 momentum on the table.
Yep.
I will burn one.
Okay.
I believe that everyone is okay with that.
Yeah.
And I will go for a straight out attack.
Okay.
So that means I'm rolling 3 die.
3 dice, unless Cager hasn't got that thing that means that 1 momentum cost gives her 2.
That's on the damage.
Yeah, I can
no,
reduce
she's got Death Blade. She's got Death Blade.
I do, yes.
2 dice for 1 doom on momentum on melee tests.
Right.
So you're
1
rolling.
doom or 1.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Yep.
One doom or 1 momentum spend.
4 dice. Ooh.
So yeah, you get to roll 4d20 to try and hit.
That'll do, yeah.
Okay. I am going to try and parry that. So that is going to cost me a doom to parry.
I'm shocked.
How many successes is that, please, Cager?
That is. Remind me,
What's your melee?
Right at the top of the street.
So it's 3
to 13, so that's
3 13. So you've got 2 successes. Oh my life! Look at that. That doesn't. The coil that you're swinging for just gets the hell out of the way, and suddenly you've got a chunk of snake. It just coils in these ways.
You're fencing with a snake's tail.
there will definitely be a shout of happiness or something.
Okay.
This is a happy Cager. She may have been scared out of mind for a second, but now she's just happy.
Okay.
Okay.
Who's up next?
Well, I'm standing near the wall with a big sword, so I'll have a go if everybody's happy.
Yeah, go on, Charlie.
And I'll spend the momentum unless somebody really wants it.
No, go on, you spend it.
Okay. Go away. Shutting the box on is getting complicated. Okay, it's 2, 3, 4.
That's 4.
4.
Oh my life.
At 3:14, I've got 4.
You see, I'd thought I'm not going to bother parrying that one. It's Cager I'm worried about. No, maybe I should have been worried about where Actium was coming from. Okay, you've got 4. You only needed 1. That earns you 3 momentum.
Louis, just to reconfirm the rule, you can only parry.
You can parry
once per turn?
No, you can parry as many times as you like, but each time you parry, the cost of it goes up.
So for 1 round.
So for you to parry again would now cost 2 doom.
Then next time it would cost 3 doom, and the next time it would cost 4 doom.
Okay.
Spending in momentum will get me 2 successes, or 2 hits, will it?
2. Yeah, if you spend 2 momentum, you will get roll your damage, but yes, if you spend 2 momentum, you'll get a swift attack.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, yes.
4 effects.
4 effects, but you use a sword, don't you? So the effects don't count as anything.
Yep.
Okay, so you do 7 damage to it.
Yep.
Okay.
I'll leave some momentum for the rest of the team to have.
Was that the one I shot, Charlie?
It was.
Yep. So that's another wound.
2 more wounds, isn't it?
That is.
Because she already took 3.
Hang on a sec. And how much?
She took a wound and 3. Now she's taken a wound and 2.
So the other 3 and 2 make another wound.
So that's 5 wounds. That's 3 wounds in total.
No, it would only be 1 for. It's not every 5. It's only on 5. So sorry, give me a sec. Give me a sec. Right. So, so we went. So you did 5 straight off the bat, and left 3 over.
Yep.
Then we got 1, 2,
5 and 2.
Then you rolled 7, didn't
7.
you?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, that is enough to do 2 extra wounds.
That's what I said. Yeah.
Yeah. No, but it's 1 because it's 5 vigor in one go, and it's 1 because you've just reduced its vigor to 0.
Okay.
It's dead.
No, it's not. It's just got vigor of 0, and it's carrying 3 wounds.
Right. Okay.
Anything it does is going to be very, very difficult at this point.
Okay.
Should have gone for a flaming bite attack while I had the chance. Okay. Okay, so that is Action's turn, which leaves us Baldur and Aladai yet to go.
Go for it, Ollie.
Right.
What can you do?
You're stood behind Genghis.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is a target-rich environment. You have
Yes.
4 giant snakes and something practically the size of the room. So,
Potion of fire.
you could... what have you got in the way of missile weapons for
Toaster.
this round?
I have throwing knives.
You could use one of those if you wanted.
Yeah, I was thinking that. Right. We will use a throwing knife
Okay.
for the first time.
Roll me a ranged attack.
I'm
I'm not
Ranged
even going
attack,
to
actually.
bother trying to parry this because it's pointless.
Stop falling off the bloody table.
Round
That
dice.
is 2, 8 and a 7.
Okay, yeah, you hit it. You gain 1 momentum.
Cool. Damage of a throwing knife is 3.
Is it,
So
can you
that
dust
is
it,
a-
Bill?
3, a 6, and a 5. I cannot remember how damage rolls work.
2 and 2
3.
effects if you get any.
A 3, a 6, and a 5. Yeah, so the 3 doesn't count. 3s and 4s don't count. 5 and 6
That's it.
is both count.
1 damage.
What effect have you got on your knives?
Hidden and volley.
Hidden and volley.
Nothing then for
You've got
range attack.
Volley. Hang on,
Yeah.
dagger. Hidden, parrying, thrown, and unforgiving. I thought you had.
Throwing dagger. It's a throwing knife.
It's just a basic dagger, Louis, so it allows it to be thrown.
Yeah. So
No, they're throwing knives.
right, they're
I've got
throwing.
throwing knives.
I know you've got throwing knives, but I'm not seeing anything on your sheet that's showing throwing knives that's different from dagger.
It's it should be on the second page, but it might not have updated when I sent it to you.
No, I've got cavalry scimitar and medium shield.
Oh, it's below that, so it's not giving that to you.
Oh, okay. You've got a special throwing knife. Okay, no,
Yeah,
that's
We've got them. You asked me before last session if we're going to buy anything.
okay. I thought you'd just gone for dagger because that's got a thrown quality anyway.
Yeah, but I don't want to throw that one.
Okay, I don't want to slow this down. If you've got that written down and it doesn't have unforgiving, then that's fine. Actually,
It doesn't.
unforgiving's not going to help you anyway. I'm getting
No,
mixed up with
But
vicious,
I
aren't
do get 2 bonus damage to ranged attacks.
Okay.
That'll be in
Right.
damage.
I mean, it
Which-
doesn't matter. You basically, as this thing whirls towards you, its head finally rearing, poison dripping from its fangs as it's heading directly for Baldur, Aladai just lobs this dagger and it hits it squarely in the head, and the body just starts twitching and flailing.
Oh, that's good.
You just killed my big bad. Okay.
With a throwing dagger.
Yeah.
That makes me happy.
It makes me happy that the person that did the most damage was Charlie with a sword and not Cager with her axe.
I was nearly there.
Okay. Baldur.
Yeah.
There are still 4 other snakes.
Are any of them coming for me?
They are, yeah. Well, they're looking as if they're coming your way generally. Whether or not they're coming directly for you or not is a whole other ball game.
We do have momentum to spend.
I'll just hit the closest one, I think.
Okay.
The big one is now dead, isn't it?
The big one is, yeah, almost certainly dead.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just go for one of the smaller ones.
Okay. Do you want to spend momentum on that?
Yeah, go on.
One or
How
two?
much?
Let's have a look. So my melee is on my character sheet somewhere.
It's up
At
the
the top
top.
right.
Oh, there it is. 13-2. So let's spend. How many momentum have I got to play with, Charlie?
Well, 4 in total for the party.
Right. So is everyone happy if I spend 2?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. So how many does that give me, Louis?
You roll 4 dice.
2.
Right. Oh dear.
Ooh.
Oh,
Right.
dear.
Well, no,
That's
we have
not
some.
good, is it?
We
2
have some.
successes.
We have some good news and some bad news.
Well, actually, hang on. I get to re-roll a d20 when making a melee attack.
Okay, I would go for the 20, personally.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Funny that.
So,
Well, it's better. And actually, what's really bizarre is because you got a 2 on that other dice. So
Yeah.
2 successes.
I would not have parried that though. I would not have parried that because I didn't know what you were getting. So roll me damage. I'm not going to spend the doom
okay.
for parry.
So it's an ordinary sword. So that'll be
So he needed the 2, did he?
So 5d6.
5d6.
He needed 1. Yeah, no, actually that's the point. He gets some momentum for that. Good call. Okay, right. Do you get to re-roll?
Not damage. I
Not
can't see any of my talents that allow me to re-roll damage.
5 damage, though.
Yep, that's a wound.
Riposte. Oh, you need to remember you got riposte as well. So if you parry, you can add 1 doom to make a melee attack. And that also means you can spend 1 momentum to make a melee attack on a parry.
Yeah.
Okay, so you don't get a re-roll, so you got 1, 3, 4,
5.
6. Okay, 5. Yeah, sorry. Yes, 5. Okay, so don't think these have any soak.
Well, if Mummy doesn't, I don't think they will.
No, I thought it was unlikely, but I would like to double check. Okay, so. Okay. You cut into this thing. You definitely leave it a wound. So yeah, this one is wounded. It is going to definitely attack you on that one. Given that you've just attacked it. And I am going to spend 2 doom to get another couple of dice.
Because, just to re-emphasise, Louis, again, the rules for people watching, each wound adds a level of difficulty on the attack, doesn't it?
It does.
Cool.
Are not wrong. So, these things have got an 11-1. So that is 3. So I get a doom back from that. And
Is he going to parry for him, or is he going to parry himself?
You can parry if you would like to.
And you can spend momentum.
Yeah, I will parry.
You're going to spend momentum.
If I spend momentum now, does that mean I still get to do a melee attack as a riposte?
If you spend another momentum after the parry.
Right, let's have a look. So you're not using a shield.
No.
So it will cost you a doom to parry, or it'll cost you a momentum to parry. I don't think you've got. Oh no, actually, sorry, no, you've got deflection.
Yeah.
Reduce doom cost by 1. So you get to parry the first time for nothing. But yeah, you could spend one of those momentum.
Boost your parry.
I will point out you have 3 momentum as a group.
Yeah.
There are still 3 of these things that are going to attack.
We're going to lose round. In the round anyway after Simon's go.
Yeah.
Yep. I don't mind. I just wanted to point out, if you're going to spend a momentum here and then spend a momentum to make a melee attack, if you get lots with your parry, you'll be fine. But you are potentially depleting the melee, the momentum pool. I don't mind. I don't mind. I'm not being precious about the monsters. I just don't want you guys to suddenly go.
If he hits and kills one, I go for 2 snakes, aren't we?
No,
so you
3. Yeah.
You only need 2 successes for the parry to work. Because although we got a 3, he's got a wound, so that actually put it into 2.
So my deflection means that I can roll this without Louis getting any more doom.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so why don't I roll my parry?
Yeah.
See where we go from there.
Come on, then.
Okay.
Can I do that, Louis, without stating that I'm going to make a riposte?
Oh yeah. You get the option to make the riposte if you make a successful parry.
Okay, so am I rolling 2d20 for my parry? Yes.
Yep. 2d20.
So 10 and a 13, and it's a 15 too.
Ooh, okay.
3 successes.
So you managed to successfully parry.
Okay. So, if I don't spend this point of momentum, it's going to disappear, correct?
No, one will regardless.
One will regardless, but so if you spend a point of momentum, you get to attack it now.
I'll spend a point of momentum and attack it now. So that gives me 2d20 to roll as an attack, yes?
Yep.
Right, let's see what that gets me. 8 and a 10.
That's 2 successes.
That's 2 successes.
And I'm on 13 too.
Don't throw that momentum away, because you might as well keep it, because you've just earned a momentum. Yeah. But roll me your damage.
So that's 5d6.
2, 3, 4.
So that's 4. Which
if you chuck a momentum back in, you can do a wound.
No, I think I'm going to leave that momentum there for someone else to spend in case they need it. Let's just do the 4 to it.
Go on then.
I mean, is it worth asking if that 1 more wound would kill it?
Is it worth me answering? Yeah, it would.
In which case, let's spend the momentum, and that's one less thing to worry about, isn't it?
Exactly.
Okay, so I'll spend the momentum.
That takes you up to 5 attacks this round. It gets a second wound. It's only a toughened opponent. It drops out.
I'm chucking my momentum in for the end of the round, all right? As well. Because that's the end of the round, isn't it, Louis?
Well, there's 2 more to attack, but yeah.
There's 2 more to attack. You might want those.
Carry on, then.
You may. There's 3 more to attack. You may well want that momentum for.
I'll wait. Go on.
Okay, so.
I'm quite useful for using momentum because it gives me an extra. Yeah.
Okay, well, Kaja is kind of central to this as she stormed out into the floor to attack this thing. So, I am going to, again, spend a point of doom to roll an extra. In fact, this is Kaja.
He's dumping all 5 points of doom.
Okay, so.
I'm closing.
Hello. That should have been 4. Flaming thing.
Roll 2 more then.
Yeah.
That's still a good roll already, though.
Yeah, it was a good roll already. Okay. What have I got? An 11-1. So that is. I shouldn't have bothered with that, should I? Because both of those came up with nothing. But that's 3 success. I should have already asked you if you want to parry.
I would, please, funnily enough. But I have got deft.
So yeah, it doesn't cost you to parry. You can spend
Jeez, to parry
4 an
Doom.
extra dice if you want to. There is momentum in the pool.
Sorry.
Or you could
What
buy
was
it for
that?
Doom. You can roll 2 dice for nothing. You can roll
momentum to get extra dice.
or you can roll. You can get momentum to roll extra dice.
You get two extra dice for 1 momentum, don't you?
That's
only on
only
melee.
in melee.
We're going to lose one anyway, so you may as well use it on the off chance that we can generate
I'll chuck
more.
it in.
Yeah,
I'll chuck it in. Now it's in there.
Okay, and I get parry for free.
Yep.
As well.
So roll 3.
20.
Combo. Oh yes!
Oh,
Yay.
I'm guessing
How's that
that's
for
3.
Yep.
And the
Okay.
parry?
In which case, you successfully parry this thing's blow as it bears down on you, biting at you. Okay.
I'm going to use tact for that.
Has Cage got the post?
No, I'm
No.
planning on getting it at some stage.
Okay. Who else is out and in the room? The doggy's kind of fairly close to being in the room.
I'm literally in the archway of the room.
So where are we? We've done Cager, we've done Baldor.
Actian.
Has Actian been attacked by one of these things?
He parried, yeah. No, it was the mummy's tail, wasn't it?
Oh, I carried the tail at the beginning.
Okay. In which case, he might need to parry again. Are you going to parry? Are you going to parry when this thing tries to attack you?
Have I got parry with I can't hold my shield because I've got a lamp in my hand.
No, but you can use your sword.
I know I can use my sword, but does my sword have parry, doesn't it? A cavalry parry. Yes, I can do that. Carry on. I'll parry.
Okay, you're going to parry. That will cost you a momentum to parry.
Will it?
Well, we're going to lose it anyway, to be honest. So,
you've only got to parry 1 success, but
use it.
Okay, chuck it. You can. Ollie, can you chuck it in?
Because it's the second time he's parried this round, so it would cost him 2. It's only going to cost him 1 because of the parry on the sword.
Yep.
Right. So roll 3d20 and away we go.
No, 2d20.
Oh, go on. All right.
Right, 3 and a 17.
There you go. So that is 2 successes.
That's 2. Okay, which earns you actually back a momentum. So given that Ollie hasn't thrown that one away yet.
Well, we're going to throw it back at the end of the round, aren't we? In a minute.
In a minute you will, but you might want it.
Yeah.
You can take it if you want it.
One more to go.
When it has a... You know what? Baldor's fought one off, hasn't he?
Yes.
In which case the other one's going to go for Cager because she just stormed out there. So, yeah, she's a good target. So the last one is likewise going to try and hit Cager. I am likewise going to dump 2 Doom on this, which means I get to roll 4d20 as it tries to wrap her in its coils. Do you want to try and parry that?
I think folks happy if I do so.
It costs you 1 to parry this time, doesn't it? Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Yes.
So chuck your momentum in.
So
as we're going to lose it anyway.
If Ollie chucks that momentum in, you get to roll 2d20 to parry.
Yep.
You need 2 successes. The odds are you'll get them. Oh, that's 2, isn't it?
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
but no momentum drawn.
Hang on, I've got parry of 2. Was that 2 or 3?
Yeah, so the 18 won't get you anything, but the 1 will get you 2.
Yes, of course.
So that levels it out. So you successfully parry, but you don't end up. You don't earn any momentum from that.
Yeah.
No wasted effort.
Nope.
Okay, so the gigantic body of this huge thing is still twitching on the floor.
Twitch.
The headless body of its smaller but still gigantic cohort is lying next to it, cleaved in 2. there are 3 gigantic snakes, 2 of which are attacking Cager, one of which is attacking Actian.
Is Genghis going to use his bow, or is he? Yeah. Have we started a new round?
Yeah, that's it. Top of the round.
So, define my minor action. So that's 1 momentum straight away.
Hang on.
I can't.
It's 1. If you're using marksman.
Yeah, but I can't use it in that attack.
Yeah. So if you make a successful attack, you'll gain 1 momentum from it.
No, I gain that anyway, but I can't use it for the attack.
If he hits, he gains a momentum.
No, it's not if I hit.
No?
I basically give up my minor action to gain momentum by using the attack action.
Okay.
Cool.
And that's 2 anyway.
Yeah, that's 2 successful anyway.
So I gain 1 momentum from that, plus 1 from trick shot.
So what are you up to? 2 momentum?
2 momentum now.
Okay, and you managed to hit this thing.
So roll 5d6. I'll re-roll the 4.
Which of these are you...
One of them attacking Cager.
Okay.
A wounded one or a not wounded one? Or is there a wounded one?
There is now.
6.
That's 5 points of damage.
6.
6.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
3, 4. Oh yeah, because I re-rolled, so that's 6.
Okay.
And again, I'm going to use the ability to shoot again.
Okay. So you drop 1 momentum on that. You now need 2 successes to hit.
You dropped them both.
Yeah, it is a 2 momentum task.
Is it?
Yeah.
I thought you'd got something that let you do that for 1 momentum, but okay, maybe not.
Let me have a quick look.
I may well be wrong.
Reduce die, upkeep, minor action to gain the momentum. Reduce difficulty by 1 when range other than optimal. No, there is no.
Okay. It was somebody else who had something that did that.
One?
That is a... Yes, just outside. 313.
313. Yeah, okay. So that one goes that one goes wide because you needed 2 to hit.
Yep. But I still wounded it.
Yeah. No, you did.
Shot it just behind the eye. So that'll make it a bit harder to hit Cager.
Yeah. Okay, who's up next?
Well, I can attack the one that's in front of me if you like.
Okay.
Just a straight attack because we've got no momentum. I don't fancy doing Doom.
Okay, go for it.
It's a fail.
Okay. Okay, so Actian kind of swings, but the thing's just bobbing and weaving, and it's awkward underfoot with all of the snake blood. Who's up next?
Baldur will go next.
Okay.
So I'll just attack the closest one to me.
Okay, you could go for... You'll need to step into the room a little further to get to one of them. So you can come in on either of the 2 that are attacking Cager without a major problem.
I'll come in on one of the 2 that's attacking Cager. That's probably easier.
Okay, do you want to go for the one that's already been wounded or the one that's still fresh?
The one that's already been wounded, because then that way Cager can kill her own.
Hey. Right. Yeah, roll.
So just 2d20, yeah?
Yep.
Okay, so that's only 1 success, I think.
There's only one. What have you got?
13.
You got a 213, did you say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so so that's just 1 success.
You can re-roll that 14 though, can't you, Simon?
Oh, yes, I can actually. Yes, you're right. So I'll re-roll the 14.
Yeah.
Okay.
2 successes.
2 successes.
But no momentum.
So roll my damage, roll my dice.
Yeah. No, it is. It's this 1 momentum because he only needed 1 to hit it. He's not wounded.
Of course, yeah. Lovely.
5.
Ooh. Okay, and that's on the one that's already wounded. You have just dispatched it fairly convincingly. You'd have actually done 2 wounds to something that was already wounded. So
I'll cut its head off.
It's dead, Jim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and I think that was Baldur's go.
Nice work.
okay. Simon, did you spent a fortune earlier, didn't you?
I did, yes.
Can you drop it off your thing because you're still showing 3?
I thought I had. I have shown it. Dropped it off my. Oh, off. Yes, off this.
Okay. I'm guessing it's cager time.
I reckon so.
Okay.
We've made it easier for her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's only got 1 now.
Happy if I spend the momentum?
Yeah, go on.
Cool. Have you got any plans for that momentum, Ollie?
Nope.
You're
Back,
more.
but-
You're the most likely person in this group to get momentum back from that
Yeah.
1 momentum.
That's kind of my thought. So I go for 4d20. That'll
Boom.
be 4 successes for you.
4.
I
Three.
think,
Gain of
yeah,
3.
I was
Sorry,
thinking.
no,
I
3.
was umming and ahhing about whether or not I was going to parry that, and I thought, no, I can't be bothered. I'm beginning to wish I had, just because it would have reduced the amount of momentum available. Okay,
Sorry,
so I'm going to
I've got
give
3
you 2 of
to
those.
I've got 3 to 13, so that is 4, isn't it? Yes.
Yeah, I'm going to give you 2 because Simon's still showing 1, so it's easy just not to throw that out yet. Okay, roll me what I'm guessing is going to be spectacular damage.
I'll be quite sad if it isn't. Sorry, can't think. How many dice do I roll?
Yours is 66, isn't it?
You use the
Per
axe. You use axe as an
Yes.
on-hand weapon, don't you?
Yep.
Cager spreadsheet.
She's got more than 6. She's got 2 axes on each hand.
No, she's got broadsword in her offhand and a battle axe in her on hand. So that's 6 damage with intense and vicious. So 66
Damn, my memory's good.
And got
effects count as 2
Double
damage.
damage.
That's double damage, and if you wound it, you'll kill it.
And she can re-roll the
6.
4.
You know that point where I'm just going to say I'm not even going to bother counting that. Yeah, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Plus you can re-roll the 4. But yeah, that's yeah.
I think that's definitely a good.
Oh,
12.
that's just 12 damage. Yeah, and you needed 5 to kill it. Okay.
I remember a scene in anime where someone kicks a snake in the air, does this with a sword, and it lands as like a sushi on the plate.
I was debating kicking it in the air and decapitating it on as it's coming down.
Yeah, no, that works for me. Right, I will point out at this point that there is some momentum in the pool.
1 snake.
Arrow die.
No, well, no. What I was going to say is, if the group would like to, I will point out that as you're using a. Oh no, you were still holding a lamp, weren't you, in your sword hand?
Me?
Yeah, were you?
Nope.
Or did you try? Okay,
Charlie is.
I should have been keeping track of that because
I've been
it's
holding
starting
a
to get
lamp.
dark in there. But hey, okay. In which case,
Hence no
you
shield.
can use your broadsword in your offhand. You spend 1 momentum. You can attack the one in front of Actian.
Go on, do it.
It is the difficulty increases by 1 point
I've got
because
2 more
it's-
momentum than this.
Yeah.
Because I spend 2 momentum
Yeah.
if you wanted.
So
Right.
drop 1 momentum to make a swift action.
Yep.
And
The
then
swift actions too, Louis.
no, it's not. If you've got 2 weapons, then the offhand weapon is only 1 for a swift action.
Okay.
If you want to make a swift action with your main weapon, then it counts as then it's 2 momentum. If you want to make it with your offhand weapon, then it is only 1
I'm
one
trying to do
momentum
both
for swift action. Sorry?
Cool.
Well, she wants to do both.
Well, then that would be 3.
That would be a offhand weapon.
So,
That'd be 3.
Oh no, you can. Oh right, I see what you mean. You can only make 2 attacks a round. You can only swift action once.
okay.
All
Alright, so yes, are we happy if I spend 2 points of momentum
And
and
that
go
would
for...
gain you 4 dice, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone happy with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything that kills it.
I can't see it surviving.
No.
Definitely needed to throw more at this, but hey.
Come on, why aren't you rolling? Let's try that again. No, you're not helping, Cat. You can't bite me. Thank you.
Go back behind the fridge.
Okay, not quite as successful, but I've still got 2 successes.
You've got 3 there, haven't
No,
you?
of course, yes, yep.
13. And
Okay.
3.
Yeah.
So 2 was all you needed. Roll me your damage, and I'm expecting to kiss goodbye to this snake.
You're not going to parry it, Louis?
No.
And
Yep,
I can
bye.
roll.
Yeah.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, that's enough. That's enough because you got vicious and intense on that.
Yeah.
That is enough. Okay. The last snake lies quivering at your feet.
Sorry, going back to like the whole anime mentality again. That's sort of like the camera just pans out. Kay just chortling happily to herself.
Ah!
Steal request. Yes, you may steal it. Oops, sorry,
God,
Dad.
I could do that.
Let it go.
Okay. I'm aware it's 11 o'clock. Do we need to wrap up?
Yes.
Yes.
Probably a good point to wrap up.
Okay, so just to recap, the chamber is
Covered in snake remains.
is covered in snake remains, and as you pan out from Cager withdrawing her broadsword from this from the final gigantic snake's neck and trying to shake the green blood off it. It's not green, but hey, it's Conan. The chamber stands around you with Khossus staring out at the bridge over Aladai's head. There are carvings and friezes depicting in amazing detail, and the other ones were fairly impressive. And there are 3 doors out of this room, which you can have a look at next time. So yeah, I am going to try and work out if I can work out how to stop this. So yeah, for anybody that's been watching, hopefully you enjoyed that, and we'll see you in a fortnight.
Bye.